The Without Fear of Her Future podcast is for women who are passionately pursuing financial freedom through investing in real estate. We are here to empower you to be brave, dream big, and design a life you love. I'm your co-host, Tresa Todd, founder of the Women's Real Estate Investors Network and author of the book, Without Fear of Her Future.
And I'm Melissa Baker, real estate investor and fitness coach specializing in turning properties from drab to fab. I'm here to help motivate and inspire you to build your dream life because, girl, you deserve it. Hello, beautiful. Welcome back to the Without Fear of Her Future podcast. Ladies, today we need to talk about something that might make a few people uncomfortable, but it's the truth. And we bring you truth today. We definitely want you to be aware of what's going on. But the truth that we want to talk about today is that your 401k is not going to give you the retirement that you've been promised.
We've been sold a dream that if we work hard and we save in our 401k and cross our fingers, we might be ready to, we might retire in comfort. But in today's economy, the dream is looking more like a gamble. Because Melissa, I just read a statistic that the other day that the average person has $272,000 in their retirement whenever they retire.
Wow.
And I mean, just think about that. How long are you going to be able to live on $272,000?
Yeah. So, the market is volatile. Inflation is just out of control. And the scary part is that so many women are trusting a system that was never designed to make us wealthy or make us financially free in the first place.
Yes. And I was that was the perfect truth for me. I mean, I had been in the medical field for 25 years and completely trusting that I was just going to be okay. I kind of had my head in the sand, but just thinking I'm putting as much money as I possibly could in my 401k. I'm living within my means that when I retire, I'm just going to be okay.
Yeah.
And boy, when I hit 50 and I started seeing the numbers, I came to that realization that I would never really be able to retire. So in this episode, we want to break down why the traditional retirement plan is failing us, what it really means to have security, and how you can start building real, reliable income for your future without fear.
So whether you're 35 or 55, it's not too late to take control. So let's talk about the strategy that's helping thousands of women break free from that 401k trap and truly design the retirement that they actually want. And I want to add that not only build to design the retirement, but to also the life. They get to love their life the way while they're living and have this great retirement.
Yes, I love that. The harsh truth is that traditional retirement model is broken. And the American dream is no longer a thing. It's really the American nightmare. Yeah. Because when they developed all of this years ago, it truly was, and it worked. It worked, but it just no longer works. Our economy is so different. Everything looks so different that there is no more American dream that traditional way.
Right.
However, there is an American dream, and we're blessed to live in America because there's lots of things that we can do. And we're going to talk about, because we don't want to just put the fear in you. We want to tell you what you can do. First of all, 401ks were never really designed to create wealth. They were designed to supplement pensions, which, again, barely exist anymore. Yeah. And so we want to talk a little more about that.
Yeah. With 401s, you're not building financial freedom. You're literally just building a little nest egg. And that's so dependent on so many factors, which, like I said earlier, the volatile stock market and inflation and rules that we can't control. So with a 401k, you're not in control of your own money at all.
Not. So the real risk is only relying on your 401k, and I'm just going to say it, not investing in real estate, which is the safest place that you could put your money, because inflation is eating away at the value of every dollar that we put in our 401k.
That's right. Taxes will likely be much higher when you retire. And actually, they're not likely. They will be. They will be higher, meaning you've saved all that money just to give a big chunk back into the government.
Yep.
And, the market crashes. They don't care how close you are to retirement. And that money, let's just take an easy number. You've got $100,000 in your 401k today. Ladies, that $100,000 is not going to go nearly as far in 10 years as it does today. It's not changing value, but yet inflation and everything else is.
Yeah, just in the last 4 to 5 years, if you had $100,000 in a savings, that same $100,000 is now worth about $25,000.
That's crazy.
And that's that's just in these last couple of years. What's going to happen over the next 5 and 10 and 15 years?
Yes. Yes.
Safe feels good until it doesn't.
That's right.
And a 401k gives us that illusion of safety. It certainly did for me. But safety is not the same as security.
No, not at all.
And I don't want you, again, as we talk about this, the last thing that we want is for you to be paralyzed with fear, because we're not trying to scare you, but you do have to be in the know. And I think, like me, so many of us, and I'm just going to be honest, ladies, especially us, we have our head in the sand.
Yeah.
And we need to gain specialized knowledge. Yes. We need to understand that investing in real estate is the real game changer. Yeah. And so that's one way to find real security, or one way to find real security with real estate investing is just cash flow. Cash flow. And that's money that comes in whether the market is up or down, and it comes in while you're sleeping, while you're on vacation. Yes. And so cash flow is when you own rental property.
Right.
Especially when you own rental property the way that we teach it at the Women's Real Estate Investors Network, because we're teaching you to buy these properties the right way.
Right.
We teach you to buy it with other people's money. And then obviously there's cost associated with owning rental properties. You need a property management company. You're going to have to pay the mortgage and the insurance. But that cash flow is the difference between the cost of you owning that property and what you make from your tenant on that property, and that money goes straight into your pocket, and that's called cash flow. And so cash flow is one amazing way to build wealth.
Yes.
As well as, I think we'll talk more about, appreciation and equity and all of those things.
The real estate investing, which we're talking about, it gives you control and cash flow, whereas a 401 literally just gives you a balance on a screen that you watch it dwindle monthly and literally could disappear overnight depending on that market, right? So let's talk about why is investing in real estate so much safer? Because the value of homes, this is an interesting fact, they keep going up with inflation, right? The values of the home, it's the only thing in history that has kept up with inflation is home values. And on average, our home values, I thought this was an interesting fact, our home values on average double every 10 years, sometimes even less than 10 years, but we'll just say 10 years. So not only do you get cash flow through your rentals, but you're also gaining that equity through appreciation.
Yes.
So ladies, you can't save your way to wealth, but you can leverage your way to wealth.
Yes. And owning rentals is one of the ways to do that. And, not just traditional rentals, but you can double and triple that sometimes with short-term rentals and midterm rentals that are incredibly popular right now. So another fact, up until about 1973, the annual income, the annual person's income was always higher than the average cost of a home.
Oh.
I mean, is that not amazing?
I didn't know that fact.
And
interesting. Okay.
So up until in the 70s, the average cost of a home was $17,000. Can you believe that?
Wow.
But the average income was $23,000. So that's why our grandparents and sometimes even our parents, that's why they were able to pay off their homes and build a savings. And that's why there was the American Dream and the 401k and all of that was wonderful. But now with the average cost of a home, I believe is about $460,000. And that is certainly not the average income that the people are making right now. As a matter of fact, I think the average income in America is about $55,000. And the average cost of a home is $460,000. So, I mean,
how does anyone ever get that paid off with that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, let's talk just a minute about inflation. So this is just amazing. I want you to think about this, that up until 2019, from the time of the creation of our country, up until 2019, there was $4 trillion in circulation. That's all there was in America, $4 trillion over all of these years.
Okay.
And then from 2019 to 2023.
So 4 years.
The government printed an additional $16 trillion. Wow. We went 4 throughout the whole history of America. And between 2019 and 2023, they printed $16 trillion.
4 times.
Now that put 4 times. Now we have $20 trillion. That's inflation.
Yes.
That's why our money isn't worth anything. The more you have of something, the less value it has.
Right.
And so there's plenty of money floating around, but it's not worth anything. And so, I mean, my goodness, and we can see the cost of eggs, milk, gas. I mean, just all of the things. And so girls, but here's again, I just want to keep saying this. As you listen to us, I don't want you to fear, because we have an answer.
Yes, we do.
have an answer.
We do. Yeah. So we want to talk about what happens when you've got that money and it gets ripped away, when things happen like companies fold or the stock market crashes. Look at 2008, 2020, economy is shifting. Having one stream of retirement income, your 401k.
Yep.
It's like having one stream of income in your household. And for most of us, that's pretty dangerous, because it doesn't go that far anymore. So this is why we can't afford to wait. Women, we have got to act now and prepare, right? Get ready. Start building that what is it? The legacy we talk about,
yes.
and not with our 401ks, but with our properties, with our real estate investing, to making those smart choices. Because women statistically live longer than men, so that means we're going to need more money, ladies, when we get ready to retire.
Let's face it, women need more money than men to live anyway.
Well, this is true. This is true. This is
all
true.
of that makeup and Botox and all the things.
Well, and think about all the time that we take off work. I know not everybody, but a lot of women take time off for, when we have kids, for caregiving, whether it's our children or maybe now, closer to our phase of life, we're taking care of our parents, and we end up with less in our retirement accounts. I know that's true for me and my husband. I have so much less because there were so many years that I wasn't working a job that, had that. So waiting to figure it out at 55 is a luxury that most women can't afford.
I agree. So what to do instead? Yeah. I mean, so again, we're giving you we're telling you the truth because you need to hear the truth. But as you're listening, instead of going, oh my gosh, and saying, what do we do? There's an answer to it. There's an answer. Yes. And listen, so you've got to build assets. That's the answer, not just a savings. So real estate isn't just about flipping houses. No. It's about creating income streams for your future. And yes, flipping houses is one way. And it's a great way. I mean, to make a lot of money really quickly. The average profit on a flip in America is $65,000, which that was my annual income when I was in the medical and, exactly. So, if you want to flip a few houses, that's something that we teach at the Women's Real Estate Investors Network. We also have wholesaling where you can make $10,000 to $20,000 on a wholesale and you can close it in less than 14 days. That's another way. Now, those are ways to make a lot of money short time. Right now.
Yeah.
Exactly. But to really build that long-term wealth and as well as being able to pass this down to your children, and that's that legacy that you're talking about, it is owning rental properties. It's so vital and it's so needed in America. Yes. Affordable living is needed. And so if you can provide that, you're creating a win-win for yourself and others. And so again, that's rental properties can look again like your traditional rentals, as well as Airbnbs and mid-term rentals. And these assets give you just options.
Right.
That savings just kind of gives you the limitations. You're just saving it away. And again, you can never save your way to wealth, but you can create wealth through owning real estate property, real property, brick and mortar properties.
So, Tresa, we've talked a little bit about the rentals, but let's just pause for a moment and let's talk about lending. Ooh, what does that look like?
I love to talk about lending. Lending is another form of investing in real estate. But before I do, I just want to give a disclaimer. Listen, we are not financial advisors. No. We are just people who have put this into practice, and it's working for us. We teach it to our students, and our students are finding success with this. So when it comes to lending, if you've got money sitting over in a 401k or retirement, and it's probably making you 3-4%, you can move that money over into a self-directed IRA, and then you can lend that money out. I think that's what you're doing.
It is. Yeah, I had just a little 401k that was just sitting there barely making anything. And I rolled it, and now I keep it lent out. And as soon as I get it back with the interest, I send it back out. So it's making, 10 to 12% each time I put it out and bring it back.
Okay, so when she's talking about lending it out, she's lending that out to another, typically woman inside the Women's Real Estate Investors Network, who is acquiring rentals or flipping a property. And so you lend that money out on a brick and mortar property that has insurance. It's a safe asset. You're lending that money so that they can, let's just say they're flipping a house, so that they can purchase the property as well as do the remodel.
Yes.
And then when they sell that property, they pay you back with interest.
Yes.
And we're talking 10, 12, 15% interest on these. Well, you could also lend that money out, and they could turn it into a rental property. And then when they refi it out, they pay you back with that interest.
Exactly.
So instead of your money sitting in your 401k making 4%, you're making, that's an incredible ROI.
And it builds, right? Because I'm not just making that 12% in 12 months. Like, it's happening a couple of times a year.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's
you're charging some points up front. So you're getting those points as well. And that's what I'm doing too. And it's the most fun, exciting thing.
So if you have that 401k that we've been talking about, ladies, that's not really going to benefit you in retirement, put it to work for you. It's not worthless or useless. Like, put it to work and let it make you some money.
That is how you leverage your way to wealth.
Yes.
I think I've said it a time or two. You can't save your way to wealth, but you can certainly leverage your way to wealth.
That's right. And ladies, if today's conversation is stirring something inside you, maybe a little fear, but hopefully a lot of fire, then that's a good thing. The first step to building real financial security is to waking up to what's not working.
Yes. And I just want to throw in here that as you hear, you may be thinking, well, I can't afford to invest in real estate. That's what I thought.
Me too.
But yes. Here at the Women's Real Estate Investors Network, we are teaching average women, really, that make somewhere between $50,000 and $100,000 a year, how you can invest in real estate using other people's money. You can own real estate. You can have rental properties by using other people's money. And we teach all of those things. So you don't have to just settle for crossing your fingers and hoping your 401k is enough. You can create income streams. You can build wealth. And I'm talking to you. Yes. You. You can truly design a retirement that you're actually excited about.
And we want to help you do just that.
Yes.
If you're ready to learn how to create financial freedom and secure your future, no matter what the economy throws your way, then we'd love to invite you to join our next Without Fear of Her Future Masterclass.
Yes. Well, Melissa, I believe it was 2020 when you yourself came through the Without Fear of Her Future Masterclass.
It sure was.
You didn't have an ounce of experience, no real estate license, no big stash of money somewhere. And tell us about that.
No, so I saw you, and the masterclass, your advertisement for it really caught my attention. I thought, it just piqued my interest enough. So hopefully some of this conversation, ladies, is piquing your interest enough to do this, because it's definitely worth the time. So I took the masterclass, that was December of 2020, and jumped straight in and started my real estate investing career in January of 2021. So literally 3 weeks later, I was investing in properties, and it has been a game changer.
You have rentals, you've flipped houses.
I'm lending my money out.
And lending your money out.
Yes.
Yeah. That's absolutely incredible.
House hacking my current home.
That's right. You go, girl. You're doing all the things.
So much. There's so much to learn. And the great thing is that through the masterclass, you really touched on so many of the different ways that women can invest in real estate without using their own money. Or if they have money, ways that they can,
use that money to leverage wealth.
Not everybody wants to flip a house.
That's right.
There's other ways. And that was something that I learned through the masterclass. I mean, the information in it is literally priceless.
Well, we teach 2 different ways. You can be an active investor, which would be things like wholesaling and flipping, or you can be a passive investor, and that is just acquiring rentals and lending your money.
Or you can do both, like I'm doing.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And I just even have to think about myself. I went from the medical field, not knowing a thing, and it was my own sons who began to share with me exactly what I'm sharing with you. And it was them that opened my eyes.
Yes.
That said, Mom, have you looked? They looked over my 401k, my retirement, my mortgage. They're like, Mom, when you retire, you have about 7 years worth of money that you could, to live the same lifestyle, which wasn't a grand lifestyle at all. And it was such an eye-opening moment for me. And I'm so grateful for that, because that's what made me take the leap of faith to say, I've got to do something. And it was investing in real estate.
Well, I'm definitely grateful that you did that, and that you created the masterclass so that other women like me can have this.
Yeah. Well, I'm so grateful too. We've already helped over 220,000 women get started, and you could be next. So we're going to walk you through the exact steps to begin building wealth through real estate investing, even if you're starting from scratch.
Yeah, your retirement shouldn't be left up to chance. Head to withoutfearofherfuture.com to save your seat and take that first step toward the freedom and security that you deserve.
Yes. Also, check us out at Women's Reign. That's womensrein.com, and follow us on Instagram at Women's Reign. Because your future, it's too important to leave in the hands of a broken system. So let's build it wisely without fear of your future.
Yes.